The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so grateful that you're here today, taking a moment from your busy life to pause, breathe, and reconnect with yourself. In a world filled with noise, chaos, and constant motion, it's rare to stop and listen, to truly listen to the whispers of our soul. Today I want to take you on a calm, reflective journey through one of the most beautifully written and deeply spiritual books of our time, The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. This isn't just a book, it's a daily companion, a quiet friend for the heart, and a mirror that reflects our shared human experience back to us. Written from a place of deep healing and transformation, Mark Nepo's words flow with truth, compassion, and wisdom, teaching us what it truly means to be alive. Mark Nepo is not just a writer, but a poet and philosopher who faced a life-threatening illness that changed him forever. Through his journey with cancer, he discovered a profound depth of gratitude, tenderness, and awareness that became the foundation for the Book of Awakening. Every word he wrote carries the echo of that transformation, a reminder that awakening isn't about transcending life's pain, but about embracing it fully. He doesn't promise an escape from suffering. Instead, he invites us to see suffering as sacred, as a pathway that leads to deeper understanding and compassion. His story is a living testament that even in our most fragile moments, there is beauty, light, and the possibility of awakening. At its core, the Book of Awakening is about remembering what it means to truly live. Nepo describes awakening as the act of returning to the present, to love, to gratitude, to the essence of who we are beneath the noise of fear and ambition. He teaches that we awaken each time we notice the miracle of existence, the sunlight on our skin, the laughter of a child, the stillness of early morning. Awakening isn't a one-time revelation, it's a continual unfolding. It happens when we stop running from ourselves and begin to listen, when we let our hearts break open instead of trying to hold them together. Life, he reminds us, isn't meant to be solved. It's meant to be experienced in all its depth and mystery. One of the most beautiful aspects of the book is its structure. Designed as a year-long journey, the Book of Awakening offers a reflection for each day, a small meditation, a story, and a gentle invitation to practice awareness. Each day feels like a doorway into stillness. Some entries may feel like a mirror reflecting your emotions back to you, while others may feel like a hand reaching out when you need comfort. The book's daily rhythm reminds us that spirituality isn't separate from everyday life. It's found in the mundane, the ordinary, the simple moments that pass unnoticed. Each page teaches us that awareness is not built in grand gestures, but in small acts of attention. One of the deepest truths that Nepo shares is the beauty of impermanence. Everything in life changes: seasons, emotions, relationships, even the cells in our bodies. The human mind tends to cling, to hold on to what feels good and resist what hurts. But Nepo shows us that our peace depends on accepting impermanence, on learning to flow with the rhythm of life rather than fight against it. He often draws parallels between nature and human experience. A leaf falling from a tree doesn't mourn its descent. It dances on the air, trusting the wind to carry it home. Likewise, we can learn to surrender with grace, trusting that every ending holds the seed of a new beginning. When we stop fearing change, we start to see its beauty. Mark Nepo also speaks deeply about the sacredness of pain. In his own suffering, he discovered that pain is not a punishment, but a teacher. It opens us, softens us, humbles us. Pain strips away what is unnecessary, until only the truth remains. He uses the metaphor of an oyster creating a pearl. An irritation enters, but instead of rejecting it, the oyster surrounds it with layers of beauty. That's what we can do with our suffering. Surround it with love, patience, and understanding until it becomes something luminous. He invites us to sit with our pain, not to rush through it or bury it, but to honor it, because within the ache, there's wisdom waiting to be revealed. When we allow pain to touch us, we grow more compassionate, more alive. Presence is another central theme in the Book of Awakening. Nepo teaches that presence is the gateway to the soul. We spend so much of our time in the past or future, replaying memories, worrying about what's next, that we miss the only moment that truly exists, now. He encourages us to inhabit this moment completely, to feel it, breathe it, and notice it. The sound of rain, the warmth of a cup of tea, the rhythm of our breath. These small experiences, when truly seen, become sacred. Presence isn't about escaping reality. It's about being rooted in it. Even when the present moment is difficult, staying with it allows us to transform it. The more we practice presence, the more we realize that peace was never somewhere else. It was here all along. Mark Nepo's writing itself is an experience of presence. His language is poetic, rhythmic, and meditative. He writes not to instruct, but to awaken something within you. His words are soft, but powerful, like waves that shape the shore. He reminds us that wisdom doesn't always come from understanding, but from feeling. Reading the Book of Awakening feels like listening to your own heart speak back to you. It slows you down. It invites you to breathe between the lines. It reminds you that spirituality is not an abstract concept, but a living, breathing relationship with life itself. A thread that runs throughout the book is connection, the deep truth that all life is intertwined. Nepo invites us to see that we are not separate from the world, from nature, or from one another. Every living being is part of one vast web of existence. When we hurt others, we hurt ourselves. When we bring kindness into the world, we contribute to healing. He encourages compassion, not as an obligation, but as a natural expression of understanding our interconnectedness. When we look into another person's eyes, we are seeing a reflection of ourselves. Awakening, he says, is not a solitary path. When one person awakens, the light they emit touches others, inspiring them to awaken too. Gratitude, for Nepo, is not something to practice occasionally. It's a way of seeing. It's the lens through which we can perceive the miracle of being alive. Gratitude doesn't mean denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing the sacredness of life, even in its imperfection. It means saying thank you for both the laughter and the tears, for both the sunshine and the storm. Nepo encourages us to begin and end each day with gratitude, to notice what is already here, instead of yearning for what's missing. Gratitude shifts our awareness from scarcity to abundance. It reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is light somewhere waiting to be noticed. Living with intention is another form of awakening. Nepo reminds us that we can drift through life unconsciously, reacting to circumstances, or we can live deliberately, guided by purpose. He asks us to wake each morning with awareness, to ask not what we want from life, but what life wants from us. Intention, he says, is not about rigid goals or achievement. It's about aligning our actions with our deepest values. To live intentionally is to live truthfully, to act with integrity, to respond with love. It's not about perfection, but about returning again and again to what matters most. Awakening isn't a destination. It's a daily practice of remembering. The book also explores the soul's journey, the long, mysterious unfolding of our inner life. Nepo views the soul as a river that flows through the landscape of experience, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, but always moving toward truth. Our task is not to control the river, but to trust its current. The soul's journey is filled with forgetting and remembering, closing and opening, loss and renewal. Each cycle brings us closer to authenticity. What's beautiful about the Book of Awakening is that it doesn't present spiritual growth as a straight line upward. It's a spiral, a continual deepening. Each time we awaken, we see the world with new eyes. Stillness and silence are essential companions on this journey. In a world addicted to speed and distraction, Nepo invites us to rediscover the healing power of quiet. He describes silence as a sacred space where the soul can breathe. It is in silence, that we hear the whispers of truth, that we reconnect with our inner guidance. Stillness is not the absence of life, but the fullness of being. In moments of stillness, we realize that peace was never something to find. It was always within us, waiting for our attention. Silence teaches us to listen, not only to the world around us, but to the quiet voice within that knows what we need. A profound part of awakening, according to Nepo, is learning to embrace the mystery of life. He reminds us that not everything can be known or explained. The mind craves certainty, but the heart thrives in wonder. To awaken is to accept that mystery is not a problem to solve, but a presence to honor. Life's mystery is what keeps it beautiful and alive. When we surrender the need to understand everything, we open ourselves to grace, to moments of awe and connection that words cannot describe. Embracing mystery allows us to live with humility, curiosity, and faith in the unseen patterns of existence. Compassion flows naturally from awakening. As we awaken to our own struggles, we begin to see the struggles of others more clearly. Nepo teaches that every person we meet carries an invisible story, an untold pain, a silent dream, a quiet longing. When we recognize this, we can no longer judge so easily. Compassion becomes our natural response to life, and it must begin with ourselves. We must forgive ourselves for our mistakes, our fears, and our failures. When we treat ourselves with kindness, that kindness overflows to others. Compassion, Nepo says, is the heartbeat of awakening. It's how love expresses itself in the world. To live awake, as Mark Nepo describes, is to live authentically. It's to be present, honest, and alive in each moment. It's not about being perfect or enlightened all the time. It's about showing up with an open heart again and again. Living awake means allowing life to touch us fully, even when it's uncomfortable. It means feeling everything deeply and yet not clinging to anything. It means seeing beauty where others see ordinary, finding gratitude in small things, and letting love guide our choices. When we live awake, every day becomes sacred, a chance to grow, to give, and to simply be. More than 2 decades since its first publication, the Book of Awakening continues to resonate with millions around the world. It transcends religion, culture, and time because its wisdom is universal. Mark Nepo's voice is one of humility and grace. He doesn't preach, he shares. His vulnerability reminds us that enlightenment isn't reserved for saints or sages. It's available to anyone willing to live with an open heart. Each time you read his words, they meet you where you are. Some days they comfort you, other days they challenge you, but always they awaken you to the miracle of being alive. And so, my friends, as we come to the end of this reflection, I invite you to take a deep breath. Let these words settle into your heart. The Book of Awakening is not just a book to be read, it's a companion to be lived with. It's a reminder that life, in all its complexity, is sacred. It teaches us to slow down, to pay attention, to love fiercely, and to trust the unfolding of our own journey. Awakening is not something far away. It's right here, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this very moment. If this message touched you, I hope you'll carry it with you today. See each moment as a new beginning, each challenge as a lesson, and each breath as a gift. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Your presence here truly means the world. If you found peace, inspiration, or comfort in this reflection, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to my channel for more calm, soulful explorations of life and spirituality. Until next time, remember to stay gentle, stay awake, and keep living from your heart.